run mobility block is going to be very similar to aspects of the 5-minute one. We're just going to be doing some different movements thrown in as well. So as before, the key areas we're looking at are our ankles, our hips and our spine. We're going to focus a little bit more on our upper back as well, and then begin to work some of the areas of our hip region, such as our hamstrings and our hip flexors a little bit more as well, to basically make sure that as soon as we're out the door, we're ready to create that strong running shape which we want to get to. So we're going to start the same way as we did with that 5-minute mobility block in our ankle circles. So we're coming onto one leg and we're doing 8 circles in each direction. Again, we're going to have to stabilize on one side. Once we've done 8, back, round. And just go as wide as you can. And just keep that ankle moving. Once we've done 8 on one side, it's across to the other. And again, we're working on that stability as well, which is going to help us as soon as we get out the door. Begin to think about engaging your core even when you're doing this, as that's going to help warm up that area and engage it so that when we're out the door, we're ready to run. So once we've done 8 on one side, we're then going to do an inversion, eversion of our ankle. So we're going to let that ankle fall in and then go out. Fall in and go out. So again, we're going to do 8 in each direction. And we're just beginning to get that ankle moving through multiple different ways. And so that when we get out, it can react to the changes in ground surface as we run along. And once you've done 8 one side, we're going to swap and do 8 on the other. And again, just keeping moving. We want to almost get to the edges of our feet, the inside edge and the outside edge as we work through. You should begin to feel that calf muscle almost firing up now and getting ready to work. And then same as we did before, we're going to do the toe and heel walk. So we'll come up onto our toes, walking forwards, and we're going to work about 5 to 10 meters forwards. We're then going to swap and go on our heels. So we do heel walks back the same distance. So if I turn to do these heel walks this way, you're just on your heels, walking forwards. And then we'll transition back onto the toes, walking back. We're going to do 3 sets of that. So we're coming forward high as we can, so we should really feel our calves on the backs of our legs firing up. And then as we come back, we want to drive those toes as high as possible. And we're going to begin to engage this anterior tibialis, which is going to be crucial when we're out running. Okay, so once we've done the ankle stuff, we're going to go down to the floor in this 90-90 position. And we're going to go into something called a lean and lay back. You might have seen this before if you've done any of the other mobility videos. So we're going to push forwards. This knee is going to come over our toe. We want to maintain heel contact with the floor. We're then going to sit back. And we're going to try and sit back as far as we can. This is kind of the end position we want to get to. If you're very tight through this hamstring, you might need to use your hands to guide yourself back. And we're just going to work between these 2 positions, holding for a second in each. So it's forwards, and then you might need to guide yourself back, and then forwards again. And we're going to do 6 in each position, just working through. Let your head come through and extend, get a good stretch through that hamstring, and then up and through. Do 2 more, and then over time, it should just become a fairly fluid movement that you're able to move between the 2. What I would say though is, it's something that can take a bit of time. I was introduced to this movement probably 6 years ago or so, and it took me a long time to be able to just work through without using my hands. And that essentially is, you know, one of the things with mobility, in that it just takes time for us to work through and to get more mobile. But if you keep at it, it's something that will pay dividends long term. So once you've done 6 per side, we're then going to come up and open and close the gate. So again, we're working on that 5 to 10 metre section, and we're going to keep moving. So open the gate, we're going to bring our leg up, out, down. We're then going to step and go on the other side. Up, out, down. Step, up, out, down. Now I've got pretty good movement through my hips, so this isn't particularly difficult for me, but you might find this a little bit more challenging. Again, just keep working at it, and over time it will improve. So that's opening the gate. We'll turn around and close the gate, but in this case I'm just going to move back. Closing the gate is basically reversing that movement. Foot comes out to the side, we come up, round, plant the foot. Back foot twists, and we come up, out, and down. Back foot twists, up, out, down. We just keep working forwards until we've done 5 metres. Now, again, we're going to work 5 metres, 3 of each in each direction. So, open, close, and we do that 3 times through. We're then going to go through to our leg swings again. You can use something to grab onto, and gradually you want to work through to just being able to do this freestanding. So, forwards and backwards. We're just going to swing that leg 15 times forwards and back, and then we're going to go out to the side 15 times. So when we're doing this forward swing, what we want to make sure is we're still trying to keep our core engaged and not letting our hips drop out and in. So what we don't want to do is swing back and through like a full body movement. We want to keep our upper body nice and strong and just come up and back. So there might be a little change in movement in the hips, but not a huge amount, as we're still trying to engage this core. Same in that side to side. Just work to the point where you can feel a little bit of a stretch, feel a little bit of a pull. And then over time, you'll be able to move further, and those swings will become a lot easier. So same as before, 15 forwards and back, 15 side to side, and then we're going to swap legs and do the same on the other side. We're now going to work into our spine. So we're going to come down to the floor and go into a cat-cow. So neutral position to begin with. We're then going to bring chin to chest and push up high as we can. And then down, head, back. Up as high as we can. And then head, back. And we're going to do this about 6 times. So make sure we keep these arms nice and straight. Really try and get that chin in as close as you can. Then down, head back, pull those shoulder blades in towards your back. Now once we've done 6 of those, we're going to work from side to side. So we're literally going to keep everything in the same position, but we're going to look round towards our heels one way, and then round to the other. As we look round, we're going to push hips opposite way. So I'm looking around to my right and pushing my hips to my left, and then round through the other side. So from the front, I'm going to look round and then round. And everything else stays still, but you can push through with your hips. Now our last movement is going to be a thread the needle, and this can be to open up the upper back area a little bit more. So again, we stay in the same position, hand down. I'm going to push that down and through as far as we can for twisting round. Down and through and twist. And we're going to do 6. And then swap sides. So swap over, down, through, twist. And again, you should gradually feel like you can move a little bit further with each one of these. Once you've done 6 per side, up, and you have done pre-run mobility, the 10-minute block. Now, as I said, in the 5-minute block as well, this might take longer to begin with, as you begin to get a grasp with each of these movements, but then over time, you will find as you learn this sequence of movements, it gets a lot faster and you can get done a lot quicker. So something that might take you 14 minutes or so might come down to 9 or 10 in the long run, and as you can just flow through. But that is our 10-minute pre-run mobility block.